Welcome to the Daily Duos. This is Nancy Jean. I'm in the garden again, and I am filling in for Jeffrey in the tarot end until he gets himself together. I'm doing this for at least 10 days. Please, Jeffrey, hurry up, come back. We read about the body, the mind, the spirit, oh dear, grounding, and we end up with clarity. So we may have to make some tough decisions today. Got the body is the Ace of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, we got the Three of Swords, we got the Nine of Swords, and then we have the Knight of Wands. And what I try to do is put these together the same way I put together the energies as I see them when I throw them in the garden. And the Ace of Cups is just a lovely emotional. You're going to be feeling really, really good, but your mind is not in the same place. You ever wake up those days, physically you feel fine, and then your mind feels kind of fuzzy or out of sorts. And it's feeling out of sorts because your spirit's feeling a little attacked. I don't know why. And then you're grounding. There's some stuff you've got to let go of to get moving forward. And this could have to do with the world in general. Remember, Mercury's gone direct, and now we're seeing all the things that got done and undone during that period of time. But it's also a time when I think there's so much around us all that we feel like we're moving in a direction and then we get stopped. And it's very, very frustrating. I think the Nine of Swords is really a lot about emotional pain, but it's worry. And remember, worry is borrowing problems from the future if you need to get into the present. So that's how I read that. But then our clarity is going to come from getting on that horse and riding, getting up and doing stuff, even though it may be the last thing you think I want to do that day, to get up and really try to get going. So I think tie into the high points in this reading, which are the first card and the last card. These guys in the middle, it's kind of like misery on a sesame seed bun. I mean, it's really miserable. I mean, it can be really miserable, but you have it in your body to wake and see beyond it, and you have the clarity to move beyond it. So I'd say if that sort of stuff starts up, just say thank you for sharing and move on. So it's going to be a day to move on. And what do the stones see? Okay. Well, our spirit says go for it, which would match up with the cups, and our mind, things we've been building up in our mind, things we've been looking at, they're beginning to flow away from us, which is good. Our real grounding is going to come in a little bit in the present, some in the future. So we need to get grounded right now in what's happening around us. Remember what I said? Nine of Swords is borrowing trouble from the future. Don't worry about it. Deal with what you've got in the present, and you can see the good things in the present, see it through to the future. Our clarity, which was also the Knight of Wands, is the path forward. And in this case, it means looking carefully at what comes, at the omens at this time as you begin to move forward, but it's moving forward. And our body is tied between emerging from the ground, the earth, and understanding physical changes are coming, and then needing to ground our thoughts so that we can manifest those changes into our lives. Okay. This is actually not as grim as I thought it would be, mostly because Spirit's in the root chakra and the go for it. And that's a great place. That means that if you're in your root chakra and it's your Spirit's there, connection with Spirit's needed in this situation. And then go for it. Like I told you, it's the nicest spot on the board. Spirit is aligned with your ideas. So those were the sunny cards we saw. Then we have these things like, oh, my body feels sluggy. My mind feels like it needs to get rid of this stuff to move forward. But the path forward for you is literally in the past forward. It's clarity. It's seek your clarity in what's coming towards you. And the grounding things are in the present, taking what's in the present that's good and carrying it into the future. So that's what I see today. Hope it makes some sense to you. It makes sense to me if we just, most of the grief we bring to ourselves when we pull it out of our mind and live in the past. You need to move forward. Your values and which is grounding you is in the present and in the future. And thank you very much for being here. And it's February 6th.